So I just finished Fallout 4, the main quest line, last night. And I want to share some thoughts on the experience and tie it into a larger Flashback Friday video. If you've been watching these Chill Friday commentaries, thank you. These are the most fun videos to go and create. This is YouTube to me, right? YouTube has turned into everybody chasing the algorithm so hard the last 4 or 5 years. I think YouTube is losing that authenticity, this format that makes it unique amongst the space, as everybody's just trying to chase getting on the homepage or the For You page or whatever. Like it's about authenticity and connecting. Fallout 4 is a game that I never beat back in the day. In fact, I only played about 8 or 9 hours in 2015. The reason was I built my first PC in late 2016. So in 2015, I was on a boot-camped Mac Pro, and it was a nightmare trying to play PC games. Unless it was a very old title, the rig super suffered. And I just remember Fallout 4 did not feel good to play on my system. And for whatever reason, I fell off it. And I'm actually incredibly excited that for the last 9 years, did not play or see or spoil Fallout 4. And the hype of the TV show, I really did love the Amazon Prime series. Got me so amped on Fallout, I've just been on like a month-long binge. I'm still playing 76. I'm on a fresh New Vegas playthrough, and I'm gonna go through the Fallout 4 DLCs. And somehow the entire experience was not spoiled for me. But there is this weird perception I had from being periphery to Fallout 4 all these years. The players hate it, see it as just a terrible entry in the series, and the worst thing since sliced bread. It's an over-exaggeration, I know, but forever I had just heard, this sort of sucks. After finishing the game, and don't worry, there'll be no spoilers here, what I will say is that I agree. I did not love the main story. There were plenty of motivations and decisions and directions that have me scratching my head going, why did you do this? You spent so long making a giant, incredible sandbox open world game, and you push the player down, these tunnels, these pipelines. But I can also say, by kind of being in a vacuum and experiencing it myself separate of all the herd mentality, like the larger online narrative for it, I leave going like, dang, this is a sweet game. It has got some strengths to it, and those strengths are the typical Bethesda game strengths. It's that fun open world junk food. Wandering, stumbling upon stuff, scouring through houses, picking things up. Those are the magic moments for Bethesda games for me. And I know, man, it's dangerous to say, but I think Skyrim falls into a similar boat for me, where the main storyline was cool, but all of my strong memories with Skyrim have nothing to do with the storyline. It's always stumbling upon a cave or doing, one of the guild's, quest lines. It's all of the periphery stuff in those games that really speak to me, go like, that's awesome. Like under a microscope, those main story quests don't super hold up. Now I can tell you, going through New Vegas, I can absolutely see why going into Fallout 4 people could be like disappointed, because New Vegas, much more that RPG thread, much more meaningful choice. It seems so far. Again, I didn't get the chance to beat New Vegas when I was younger, so this is like these first experiences for me. But where I'm going with the commentary is I very intentionally did not want to look up spoilers, didn't want to look up, current reviews of the game. I just wanted to experience it myself. And this is happening more and more in life, from movies to music to TV to games. I want to experience it myself, come up with my own opinion, and not necessarily immediately rely or latch onto the overwhelming consensus. And I think people are missing out on finding things that bring them true joy because they're immediately checking what the hive mind is saying. Okay? I'm not saying you bury your head in the sand and you ignore things. But a good example is there are plenty of movies that I'll enjoy. I run over, check to Rotten Tomatoes. People hated it. Vice versa. How many times have you gone to a film or watched a movie that's like very highly rated on Rotten Tomatoes and then gone, no, absolutely not for me? And I think you're seeing the result of these review aggregations, the communication stuff that the internet gives us. Products are trying to appease everybody. And in doing so, you sort of appease no one. Let me tie it into Halo. I heard a great analogy this last week. Maybe it was Snakebite. I can't remember. Optic Lucid put out a great video just talking about the state of Halo Infinite right now. And I think Snakebite had said basically the competitive players don't need to have the same settings as the social players. Both sides of the coin suffer when you do that. And 343 has been so die hard, right? Nerf the Mangler. Instead of just taking it out of competitive play, the casual players don't like it, and the competitive players don't like it. If you rewind the clocks back to like the MLG days, okay? MLG was not the developer. MLG had to work on making game types and maps that made the game more competitive. They didn't change the overall experience for everybody within. And I think it is relevant because in trying to appease everybody, you lose out on really appealing to a core audience. Core audiences need to exist. You need to have media and games and culture that isn't made for everybody. And ultimately, to find those more niche pieces of content or gaming, the things that don't necessarily resonate with the biggest group of people, you have to go and discover and make up your own mind. Because those are not the types of content that are going to get like 98% on Metacritic or whatever. They're going to be the deep cuts. They're going to be the unique things. And as a result of everybody immediately checking on social, like what's the verdict? What does everybody think of this? And live service is killing us in this regard. Every time an update comes out, what do people do? They check the YouTube scene to see like, yo, is this a good or a bad update? Is this good or bad? It's black or white, always. Instead of just trying it for themselves and then making up their own mind. We are getting into a real pickle of a time here. And I'm telling you, I read your comments. I love hearing from you. And I can tell people are craving authenticity again. You get back to that authenticity not by just following the hive mind. Hive mind will keep producing so much of the stuff that we've been getting these last few years. Like I said, it's this crazy cycle. Live service games can be good. But my gosh, can't you say like overwhelmingly, most of them are delivering the same thing, the same focus, groupy, appease as many people as possible to make a bunch of money thing. And it's wearing me out and it's getting a little old. When I think about the Fallout 4 experience where we started this video, if I had gone to the review sites and Metacritic, read through the general consensus, I'm telling you, my experience walking away from finishing the main story quest would look differently. I would probably look at the game much more negatively. I recognize the criticisms now that I've finished, now that I've made up my mind, and I align with some of them. But on the whole, I thought, like, pretty fun game. I'm glad I spent my time there. Instead of, like, obsessing over what does everybody else think about this, because that will paint your experience. How can it not? It will shape the entire time you're playing the thing or listening or watching. So, go out there. Find something fun. I always encourage you on these Friday videos. If you're not enjoying what you're playing, watching, whatever, change it up. Do something new. Dive in head first. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a great weekend. Such a scattered video. But this is YouTube. And this is authenticity. And I really love that we can still create and have a conversation as a community about unique things like this. Thanks for your time. Have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you again very soon.